Good afternoon, Infinity Wellness Center world. Hey, this is Dr. Tim. I was just wanted to get on here and talk about some three kind of tragic things that happened over the weekend, or two minor ones and one major one. The first one was, I don't know if you guys were aware, but the Packers did not make it to the Super Bowl, and that was a minor disappointment on my end. And then the other minor disappointment was that Tom Brady won his seventh Super Bowl. Just kidding about those, obviously, but congratulations to the Bucks fans out there. I'm happy for the Bucks fans, but I think, like most people, I think when you have to use your other hand with two fingers to carry all your Super Bowl rings, it's probably just showing that you've been doing it good and been doing it a long time. So congratulations to him. But now, in all seriousness, the thing that I'm really have the major concern of is I was reading a Forbes article that came out at the beginning of this month, and they were talking specifically about the month of February, and actually talked a little bit about Super Bowl Sunday and some of the things that occurs. And it is the primary time for those people that have made New Year's resolutions or have set goals. The studies showed over and over again that by mid-February, 80% of people that set a resolution or set some type of a goal at the beginning of the year have already are off track. And they're not likely to get back on track with it. And so that's definitely a sad state. And a lot of it comes down to when people make their New Year's resolutions, sometimes they're doing so just kind of whimsical. Everybody's doing it, so I'm just going to make something. They didn't really think it through properly. They didn't do the things that they needed to do to really to cement that and make it work. And the challenge with that is that they're going to end up where they are. And so there's been studies done that shows, with goal setting and these different things, that people that write it down and revisit them, that they're the ones that make changes. Those who, are toasting at midnight on New Year's, and then they just throw something out there like, hey, I'm going to lose 25 pounds, or, I'm going to, my New Year's resolution is I'm not going to drink soda, or whatever these things are. Like I said, by this time of the year, 80% of them are already given up on those things. And so, why are we talking about this? Well, we've got our New Year, New You event coming up this Saturday. And really what it is about is trying to help people make the necessary changes to become successful with that. By far, the number one thing that I can tell you is really it has to do with what their identity is. If we look at the Biggest Loser, for example, in that show, I don't know if you watched that. It was on for like 10 seasons. Lots of contestants over time lost a lot of weight on the show, but then they did these little follow-ups with them to see, like, hey, later on, what was the how many of them kept the weight off? How many of them did what it needed to do to really change their life and have an impact? And it's quite startling to see that the last time I checked, which was a while back, and I don't think the show's on anymore, there was actually only two people that ever sustained those changes. And most of the other people got off the show, and then they gained the weight back. Their lifestyle kind of regressed back into where they were before. And so why is that? And the number one reason is that throughout that process, anybody can commit to doing something for a short period of time. I could get you to show up to the gym for 30 days, and we're going to work out really hard, and you're going to be really sore. You're going to lose some weight. But if your identity didn't change, and that doesn't become who you are as this person. The two that did change in The Biggest Loser, one became they both went into the fitness industry. So they had an identity shift. One of them was like a data entry inputter, was her previous job. And as a result of being inspired to lose the weight and to stay that way, she went into the fitness industry. So she had an identity shift. She changed her identity, and that identity shift allowed her to continue. And she's been successful not only in her job, because it's a great inspirational story for people. She's one of those, like, she was able to do it and succeed, because I know most people out there, we've all done it, right? We've all been, I've lost some weight, I've gained some weight, I've done this for a little bit, and I saved money, and then I had to spend it. Some emergency came up. There's always reasons why things happen. But the bottom line is that when we have an identity shift, it allows for things to start to change. And so, one of the main focuses for our talk this Saturday is going to be on what does it take to shift somebody's identity? How do they become that new person? Because if I'm just the old person trying to act like I'm a new person, but I don't have a net shift within my subconscious and the mental state, then I'm just pretending to be somebody who I'm not. And therefore, at some point, the subconscious and all of those things, the sabotaging continues. And at some point, we find it that we're back where we started. And so understand that. Is it about eating healthy? Is it about exercising? Yeah, those are all factors within it, but everybody knows that. And I think that that's the problem that we're running into in our society is people know. I have something that I say to my patients all the time, like, raise your hand if you think McDonald's is a healthy place to eat, and nobody ever raises their hand. But then I ask them, well, what's the only restaurant in the world that has 1 trillion served underneath its sign? And that's the only one. So the problem is, it's not that we didn't know better. We know that McDonald's isn't the health food store, but yet it's the only place that people, 1 trillion people have went to eat. And so how does that happen? And it really becomes with, what people's values are, what their identity is, who are they as a person. And so I just want to encourage you guys that we're going to be doing an in-office event. So we have limited seating so that we can keep everything appropriate for the current situation health-wise. But we're also going to be doing an online event. And if you're interested in joining that online event, you just need to post in the comments like, hey, I'm interested. I'd like to join that event. It's going to be this Saturday. It's going to start at 11 a.m. our Mountain Time. So I know I have some friends back on the West Coast or West Pacific time zone. So if you want to get on and watch, it'll be at 11 o'clock our time here, Mountain Time. And while the point of it is to introduce those concepts, really help people understand what does it take to help shift my identity, along with giving you the tools necessary to make the right decisions. Because I think everybody else knows that we just got too much information in our society right now, and it can kind of be confusing as far as what is the right thing to do. You can log on to Yahoo News today, and it'll tell you that coffee cures every problem that you've ever heard of. But if you log on to it Friday, it's going to tell you that coffee causes every problem that you've ever heard of. So people get confused. They don't know what to do. Is coffee good? Is coffee bad? So we want to give people clarity so that they have a full understanding of what's to come. So again, the event's going to be at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Just put a thing in the comments, say, hey, I'm interested. We'll have one of the staff reach out to you, and we'll get you set up with the private Facebook group link so that you can watch that this Saturday as well. So hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk with you soon.